Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Justin Harvey here at the Justin Harvey Show with some sweet, bitter news. This is going to be my final broadcast in the podcasting world. But what better way to end it than to have the very man that broke me into the radio business, my good friend, Brian Resner, with me today. Hey, Brian, how's it going?
It's going good, Justin. How's it going?
Hanging in there, man. You know, changing some things in my life and, you know, kind of reflecting. You know how that goes.
Right. I have to ask the first question. Why is this over with? Why are you done with this?
Honestly, I'm tired of getting taken advantage of by certain parties and not getting paid to do what I do best. And another thing that I think me and you both can agree on, possibly, I'm tired of this cancel culture and people being offended about every little thing. So,
did you think that you were going to be a part of the cancel culture situation? Is that what you were worried about, or?
I think I could have headed down that direction if I took it into like a Howard Stern type of realm, because I actually had actual models that was going to actually appear on my podcast naked. So yeah, so I was like, you know, this cancel culture is getting way out of hand, B-Res.
So you would have had naked girls on an audio podcast.
It was actually going to go on video. It's going to be video.
Oh, well, you know, I mean, they could just not watch it if they didn't like it.
Yeah. Well, maybe I should reconsider. What do you think?
I think you should reconsider. I think that you should continue doing the Justin Harvey Show, because I can't think of any reason why anyone would want to cancel you.
Yeah. Well, and see, that's kind of what
there's also that other factor, is that they can't cancel you because you're your own boss.
Oh yeah, that is right. That is right.
So how can you get canceled if you're the guy who cancels you?
I know, right? I know, totally. Oh, and Beers, I want to reveal something.
All right.
I actually was playing undercover cop last month because supposedly I was dating this chick, right? Well, some friends of mine actually got a hold of a show called Catfish. And Catfish was really interested in doing my story, but the person behind the profile, we couldn't get them to agree to be on the show.
Huh. So they were catfishing you?
Yeah, they were catfishing me. So.
Son of a bitch.
Exactly. See, you know what I did?
What'd you do?
On Valentine's Day, I blocked the profile and changed my relationship status.
Because you knew that it was the catfish.
Yeah.
What was her name?
Amber Lee.
And she was actually Carl from Wisconsin?
Yeah, exactly. There was just too many red flags.
Damn you, Carl.
Exactly. And see, the thing is, she would never video chat, never voice call, any of that. So I knew something was up. And let me tell you something, Brian. I was actually involved with a married woman for several years who lived out of state. And she called me several times a day, and she'd light my phone up. So why can't my own girlfriend, you know? There's a problem.
Right.
So.
And that problem was your girlfriend was actually Carl from Wisconsin.
I know, right? And, you know.
Son of a bitch.
And I love women. I don't like dudes. I know some people do, and that's okay, but that's just
But you weren't after Carl from Wisconsin. You were after Ang Lee from wherever, Bangladesh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Terrible situation. Sorry you had to go through that, Justin.
Yeah. Well, shit happens.
That's true. Shit does happen.
But I got to share a cool, quick story with you that I haven't got to share with you yet. You know when you were trying to help me meet ICP, remember that?
Right.
Well, funny story. We were actually still in a building, me and you, as I recall, and we were watching the wrestling or whatever it was, because it was like a rock show / wrestling, if I'm remembering correctly. Well,
right.
My mom had showed up early to the event, and somebody had said to her, do you want to go ahead and go on in? And she's like, no, he's still watching his stuff. He'll go ballistic if I, pick him up early or whatever. And she said somebody come up to her car or something and said, do you want to come smoke with us? And she's like, okay, let me, get my smokes or whatever. And she said they were really nice people. And then she got to tell me more. And I'm like, Mom, I said, I'm so jealous. You realize who you were smoking with? And she said, no. I said, that was ICP, the people I was trying to meet and didn't get to meet. And you're in the back parking lot smoking with them.
Well, that's interesting.
Yeah. But I always
definitely an interesting story.
Yeah, I always make a joke and be like, here's your buddy's theme song from WWF when they were the Odysseys,
Right.
But on to the main topic, beer is because I'm actually concerned, and I want to get your thoughts on this, because you and I, even though I'm kind of sick of the martial arts world right now, you and I have a second love, and that is professional wrestling.
Of course.
And I've been watching a lot of wrestling lately. I mean, a lot of wrestling. And, WWE Network is not out of business, but WWE Network, the rights got sold to stream it for the next 5 years to Peacock.
Right.
Which, from a business standpoint, Vince McMahon really kicked ass on that. It's smart to do, because who wouldn't want $1 billion? I mean,
right.
But
yeah, $1 billion deal, and it actually works out kind of for the fans too, because now we pay $5.99 instead of $9.99.
I still do the $10 because I don't want ads, but you're right on that. But and here's what concerns me. I'm starting to see articles that stuff is going to be censored, and I'm hearing things like we might not even get old ECW stuff.
Well, I'm really concerned about that myself, because I watch more ECW on the network than I do anything else.
Yeah.
And knowing that I'm about to lose all that ECW stuff, because it's just a matter of time. If they're going to sanitize the network, they're going to sanitize a lot of stuff out. And I would say that ECW will definitely be on that chopping block. I just hope that the WWE is able to do something with that footage, and NBC just doesn't hold it away from people, because I would be willing to pay $5.99 a month for just access to ECW stuff.
Yeah, and see that's what scares me, because with this cancel culture, I feel like they're just going to cut everything out. I understand that some stuff is controversial, Brian. I get it. I totally get it, but why can't they just do like a disclaimer, and then if somebody doesn't like it, don't watch it?
Yeah, that's how it should be. That's a little thing they call freedom.
Yeah. But I feel in some aspects, Brian, I know we don't really agree politically a lot, but I do feel that our freedom is slowly being taken away in some aspects.
Well, unfortunately, Peacock did not promise us freedom. America did. So Peacock can take anything they want that they paid for away from us. I'm hoping that there will be some type of answer to this question, as in, like, what are people supposed to do if they want to watch the stuff that has been sanitized out? I hope there will be an option for those people, because I am one of those people. But I don't know if there will. I don't know if there will be an option or not.
Yeah, yeah. And another thing too, like, if this happens, maybe we really need to, like, write WWE, and maybe they really need to, like, after 5 years is done, bring the stuff back to the network.
Yeah, I understand $1 billion is big time money.
Yeah.
I feel like they could have done this better, but I think that Peacock would have paid the money for Raw, SmackDown, NXT, and the pay-per-views.
Mm-hmm.
And then you could have brought the network down to a cost of $5.99 and gave people all the old stuff.
Yeah.
Having two versions there, like having, okay, you can have the WWE network. It's no longer going to have pay-per-views. We're not giving pay-per-views away for free, and we're not going to put the Raws and SmackDowns up, but we're going to give Peacock full reign to run all the Raws, all the SmackDowns, all the NXTs, and all the pay-per-views.
Yeah.
I think NBC would have still paid $1 billion for that.
Oh yeah. And there was actually talk that, that they might actually eventually buy the WWE out, in a couple of years.
Well, there's been talks of Fox doing that. There's been talks of NBC doing that. And there's also been talks of Disney doing that.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it would necessarily be a bad thing. Especially with Disney. When Disney bought Star Wars, all the Star Wars people were like, this is it. This is over. This is going to be terrible. And now it's not terrible. Now it's awesome. And everybody who loves Star Wars loves this new Disney stuff. So would it be the same for us? Would the WWE get bought out by Disney, and then all of a sudden there'd be Disney-themed rides that were WWE style? Would there be, an actual Hall of Fame? Would there be, who knows? Who knows what would happen if Disney owned the WWE? But what else scares me is with the way ratings are going for wrestling right now, if a company like NBC or Disney or somebody else buys the WWE and it doesn't perform, would it not just go on a shelf somewhere and be done?
Yeah. And we'd be stuck watching something else we don't want to watch. Because you and I both know, me and you share the same passion for wrestling like crazy.
Well, so one thing that you can think about is whenever the WWE is owned by a company that their main business is wrestling, then of course they're going to make it work. They're going to make wrestling work. But if you're talking about a big company that their main business is TV broadcast, if wrestling ain't working, then wrestling ain't working. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Now, let me ask you this, Brian. If the ECW stuff doesn't come on the network, will you be canceling your subscription, or will you be keeping your subscription?
Well, my subscription is with Peacock, and of course, the WWE Network subscription's already done because now they've switched over to Peacock, and I have Peacock for free with Xfinity.
So it won't make a difference whether they change it or not. You're getting it for free, but like
I'm getting it with my cable package, so I'm going to have it regardless. But I will say this: if my cable company stopped giving it to me for free, I would pay for it simply because of the pay-per-views. The pay-per-views alone makes the $5.99 worth it.
Yeah.
Even if I don't get the old stuff that I want.
And let's say they do cut out ECW stuff. Where does the censorship and all this stuff? Where does it end? Where does it end?
That I don't know. It's a weird world. You were talking about me and you. We don't always agree politically. I don't know if that's necessarily as true as it is. We just come from different sides of the fence. Really, when it comes down to the political grasp on things, like I've been a liberal all my life, but when I was like coming up as a liberal, we fought against censorship. We were all about the First Amendment. That was our amendment. Was the first.
Yeah.
And
I think
and
that's
now
something we can agree on.
It's disappeared. Like now, that's not, and so that's not me. Even though I'm still I live by liberal ideology. It's not an ideology that says that everything needs to be censored. That's not the school of liberalism that I come from. I come from a school of liberalism that is based on freedom of speech, freedom of choice, freedom of all types of things. And to see people fighting for censorship, it just blows my mind, because when I was coming up, it was the conservatives that wanted to censor everything. They wanted to get rid of Marilyn Manson, and they wanted to get rid of, video games and all this stuff they wanted to get rid of. And now it's flipped. And the conservatives are saying freedom, and the liberals are saying, "Hey, let's cancel this shit." It doesn't make any sense to me, because I believe in freedom of speech.
Yeah. Because see, TV is one of my biggest passions. I mean, I watch all kinds of movies, like horror movies. I watch, I haven't watched much martial arts, obviously, like I used to, but. What's them to, because I even told Trey Dukes one time, a Bloodsport, I said, if they start trying to censor Bloodsport, I will lose my shit.
Right.
Leave stuff alone,
Yeah. If it's already out, leave it alone. It's already happened. And and a lot of stuff, happened at a different time. It's just, you can't look at, Shane Douglas says this all the time on our podcast, Franchise with Shane Douglas. For those of you who are listening, if you'd like to listen to Franchise with Shane Douglas, you can find it on all major our podcast platforms. Now, what I was saying is, Shane Douglas says you can't look at something from 15 years ago through 2021 goggles.
Yeah.
You can't do it, or you're always going to find something wrong with it.
And see, I feel like that's what some people are trying to do, and it's just, and it sucks. It's like, I don't understand. If you don't like something, why not change? And since this is my show and it's uncensored, why not change the fucking channel? It's not that hard, people.
Right.
Yeah, because and here's the thing. And I'm just using this as a point. Like let's say me and you're into NASCAR, and you like Jeff Gordon, and I like Earnhardt, and I say, Jeff Gordon's a piece of shit, so I find him offensive. That's exactly what's going on with this cancel culture, in a sense, just because they don't like something.
Right.
So, what needs to happen to fix this, B-Riss, in your mind? What needs to happen?
Man, I do not know. If I knew what the fix was for this situation, I would definitely share it with you, because it needs to be fixed. There's just more. There's more things to worry about than than what they're focused on. And I tell you, here's a good point, is we were talking about different things that are going to be sanitized out of the network. A lot of those things we're talking about are like the wild Samoans.
Oh, yeah.
Taking two Samoans and acting like they're tribal warriors that might eat you, might be cannibals. All this stuff, that was racially insensitive.
Yeah.
Tony Atlas playing Saba Simba, that was racially insensitive. However, these people are really Samoans, and Tony Atlas really is a black guy. So if you sanitize them out of the network, what do? Who actually gets hurt by it? The person who gets hurt by it is that worker. Tony Atlas, money will come out of Tony Atlas's pocket because he's not a part of the network as Saba Simba. Money will come out of the Wild Samoans' pocket because they're not being displayed on the network because their gimmicks were racially insensitive. There are tons of people that are of that nationality that are now going to be hurt financially because someone was trying to not offend them. Obviously, they weren't offended. They took the paycheck to play those roles.
Yeah, yeah, and it's like, and it's like this too. And I got to tell you, I wanted to mention this too, and it was actually hard for me to watch. I actually was watching Hog Wild the other day from like I think 98, and I was watching a match with Chris Benoit, and that was really hard to watch. It really was.
Why did you feel like it was hard to watch?
Well, just because I know what he did to his family and all that stuff. I mean, that's on a whole another level. But even I
So you believe that should be sanitized out then?
I mean, if anything's going to be sanitized, that actually has merit to be sanitized. But I'm not going to say it should be sanitized. So.
That brings up a really good question, because on the network, when you went to go watch, say the WrestleMania where Chris Benoit won the world title, or the Royal Rumble where Chris Benoit won,
yeah,
he was still there, and it just had a disclaimer. Are they going to do the same thing on Peacock, or are they going to cut Chris Benoit out?
Exactly, and that's my question, because like, he was a wonderful wrestler. It's hard to look back and watch sometimes, knowing what he did.
I tell you what's really hard to do is to watch Hard Knocks, the story of Chris Benoit. It was a documentary that came out by the WWE before all of that stuff happened, and he's on there talking. His kid's on there, and woman's on there talking about him, and he's talking about his kids, and it's crazy to watch, because you're like, man, in just a few years he's going to murder both of them. It's pretty crazy to watch.
Yeah, and I even watched the story on Dark Side of the Ring too, on the Chris Benoit story, and that was even hard to watch.
Have you by chance heard the Chris Benoit episode of Franchise with Shane Douglas?
No, I have not.
That is a great episode. You should check it out. Your listeners should check it out. It's I think it's episode 8. Chris Benoit, Franchise with Shane Douglas. It might not be 8. It might be actually. Don't count me on that. I'm not looking at it, so I can't tell you exactly what episode it is. But it is a great episode. Franchise with Shane Douglas, Chris Benoit. It is out there.
Yeah, I'm not saying that it should be sanitized, Brian. I'm just saying that it was really tough to watch. I was like, oh, man. But at the same
Actually,
time,
it's episode 15. Episode 15, Chris Benoit.
I will definitely listen to that one for sure. And I'll tell you, another episode that was hard for me to watch was on Dark Side of the Ring was about Owen Hart, because I'm actually real close with his brother Bruce, and that was really hard to watch.
Right.
It was good, but it was really good. So, I mean, and that draws another question. Are they going to, like totally scrap Over the Edge 1999 when Owen Hart died.
Well, that's kind of been scrapped already. I mean, there's no you can't find footage of Owen Hart falling.
Yeah.
We've never been able to.
It's like, where does it end? And I honestly think if they sanitize it too much, Perez, they are going to lose like a lot of the hardcore wrestling fans that's been supporting the sport for many, many decades. Many, many decades. What's your thoughts?
I agree. Completely.
And I've got to ask you, speaking of wrestling, because I actually, the other night, I watched an episode about New Jack. What kind of person was he to you? Because I know, I learned you don't want to piss off New Jack.
That's true. You definitely don't want to piss New Jack off, but I will tell you this quick story. First time I ever met New Jack, he was stranded at an airport for 2 hours, and the guy who was supposed to pick him up didn't pick him up, and he was supposed to be coming to a Q&A with me, and he called me and told me how pissed off he was and how he didn't have a ride from the airport. So I went and picked him up at the airport and kind of saved him from a bad situation. So from the gate, he was super cool to me. And then we went and ate mushroom Swiss burgers, which is his favorite burger, by the way. Don't know if you know that or not, but when it comes to hamburgers, New Jack is a mushroom Swiss guy. And we ate some mushroom Swiss burgers, and since then we've worked together 5 or 6 different times. He's always awesome. He's definitely not somebody you want to piss off. But he's a lot like a domesticated tiger. You know, you might be able to pet this tiger. Sure, you could take pictures with this tiger. Sure, you can hang out with this tiger. Sure, you can watch this tiger do stuff. But it's still a fucking tiger.
Yeah.
So, even though your situation may be good with that tiger, you never want to forget that it's a tiger.
Yeah. So for example, if I rolled up in my wheelchair in style like I always do, as long as I'm cool with New Jack, he would be cool to me, probably.
Oh, yeah, for sure. New Jack's a great guy.
Because, like I said, after watching that episode, I was like, yeah, I could see some of his matches being sanitized.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, New Jack will disappear from Peacock, I would say.
It would have been awesome if, like, WWE would have, like, signed him and just let him do what he wanted to do. And he could have taken the Attitude Era in a whole nother realm if they wanted to push it that far.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, because at that era, could you imagine a match between Stone Cold Steve Austin and New Jack?
Yeah, I don't think that New Jack he could not work in WWE.
Yeah.
No way.
Well, he's definitely a colorful person, and that's a comment, by the way, but that's just how he is. So.
Right.
In one of his matches, he broke his skull.
Yo, I know all about that. Actually, another episode that you need to listen to, a franchise with Shane Douglas, is all about some New Jack. We have the New Jack Lost Tapes episode on franchise with Shane Douglas, and we actually spoke to New Jack, and he tells some really, really incredible stories. That is episode 8. Episode 8, New Jack the Lost Tapes. You should definitely check that out.
Well, is this podcast on iTunes by chance, Spiro?
It is. It sure is.
Okay, because what I
can
do is I can actually look up the episodes on iTunes, and iTunes will download every episode I've missed. Every episode.
Well, there are tons of them out there. We're coming up on episode 39. It'll be out on Monday.
Wow. Now, do you watch Ring of Honor any? Because I'm just now getting into that. I just discovered that the other day.
Yes, I watch Ring of Honor. I'm a huge Danhausen fan.
Oh, awesome. Awesome.
Yes, I love Danhausen. Get the monies. Get the monies. Very evil. Very nice.
And you know how we were talking about naked women earlier in the broadcast? Well, did you know that there used to be an wrestling organization in WWL, and women would wrestle naked, and the woman that was in charge of the company was Carmen Electra.
Really? I did not know that.
Yeah, it was the WWE equivalent for adults. It was exactly like WWE, except women wrestling naked.
Well, I wonder if they could sell that to Peacock for $1 billion.
Oh, I guarantee you they could. But I think it was on pay-per-view all the time, and then eventually the company went under. So. Oh, and I got to mention this, Brian. Another one of my previous guests is going into the WWE Hall of Fame, Eric Bischoff.
Yes, I'm glad. He needed to be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, he needs to be honest. He needs to. And honestly, a part of me at first says I would have never dreamed him being in the Hall of Fame for WWE, and that's only because I remember the days WCW, he used to give away the Raw results.
Yes.
And that was
every week.
Every week.
Yeah.
But it actually backfired on him one time because he's like, Mick Foley's going to win the world title, and
everybody changed the channel.
Yeah. So that one, backfired. But do you think that AEW will be on the same level as WWE to compete one day?
No, I don't. I don't think any wrestling company will ever reach the level of the WWE because of just the time factor. WWE's just been there so long and been doing it so long that it would take another company so long to catch up that they wouldn't even make it through.
Wow.
That's just my opinion. Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah. Wow. Man, I tell you, Brian, you've done so much in your life, and you've met so many famous people. You should write a book.
I've been thinking about writing a book. I'm not sure if I was going to do it about all the famous people I met or not, but I definitely could do that. Met a pile.
I think you should. I mean, you've got a lot of knowledge. I mean, even on everything, not just wrestling, but business, everything. Because a lot of people don't realize, but you are the one that brought everything to Beckley, West Virginia when Munchie's Bar and Grill was a thing.
Yeah, me and Davey McDormand, we brought a lot of stuff to this area for sure, or to that area. I'm not in this area anymore. I'm in Florida, but yes, we sure did.
Yeah. Well, I'm actually ready for you to kidnap me so I can come to Florida, because even on my Power Wheelchair, I've got a Florida's license plate with my name on it.
We need to get you down here, man. You would love it here in the sun. It's a great place to live.
You just, my great aunt told me you just got to watch out for the gators.
That's right. You don't want to be near a gator. But I'll tell you this: I haven't seen any gators at all that were not in captivity since I've been here.
Really? Because she said when she lived there years ago, you'd have to watch your dog or they'd get eaten by a gator.
Yeah, that's maybe in certain areas, but not anywhere near me. I don't see gators at all. We did go to this place called Gatorama, though, and they had 500 gators there, and it was awesome.
Yeah. And I tell you, B-Rez, since my brother has passed, and I've actually already talked to my parents about this, which I don't need their permission anyway, but I still mentioned, I still brought it up because I want me and you to actually 1 year if your wife will allow it, of course, I want me and you to go to WrestleMania one year and do like the fan access, the whole works, because me and my brother always talked about doing that, but he passed before we could make it happen.
Well, I would love to go to WrestleMania with you. You let me know when we're going. I'd love to go. I'm not going to go this year, even though I was going to go this year. I decided not to go this year because I've been such a dictator on my children about the pandemic. Haven't let them do anything, and if I went to WrestleMania, I would be a huge hypocrite. So I am not going to WrestleMania for that reason, but I wish I was.
Well, why don't we try to plan to try to go together next year?
Well, we got to find out where it's going to be next year.
Yeah.
Don't we already know? Isn't it Texas next year?
I think it is in Texas next year.
It's a hike. It's a hike for both of us.
Yeah, but we
need to figure out how we're going to get you. We need to figure out how to get you there.
Yeah, because that's a big dream of mine to go to WrestleMania, and me and my brother really wanted to go, and like I said, he passed before we could even, make it a thing. Because see, here's the thing: I've never been to a pay-per-view in my life, and to me, that's an American, because
right.
I'm a big, wrestling fanatic. So
you definitely need to go to a pay-per-view, man. I know I've had fun at all the pay-per-views I've went to.
Yeah, and didn't you have? Of course, I couldn't make it, but didn't you have like wrestling at Munchie's one time where you had?
We had midget wrestling there. We had midget wrestling at Munchie's.
That's what I was thinking. Hey,
yeah, quite a few times.
I tell you what, I would wrestle with them.
I'd like to see that. Justin Harvey versus a midget.
That'd be cool.
That'd draw money.
Oh, are you kidding me? Oh yeah. But I was gonna ask you, B-Riz, are you like a horror fan at all? Do you like scary movies, or
of course I do.
For them, or?
Oh, I love horror movies.
Oh wow, it's another thing we have in common. I always wanted to be in like a horror film, like I could be like this, like the wheelchair killer. I would love to do something like that.
You need to get on that script. That sounds like a movie I'd watch.
Yeah. So I think that'd be cool. But do you think, like I said, with this Peacock thing, do you think that they're going to be in danger of losing a lot of subscribers because of this? About?
I don't know. I think, like I said, I think the majority of the fans are going to still stay connected for the pay-per-views. Yeah. But I guess that the wrestling fans who are specifically buying the network for the old stuff and don't care about the pay-per-views, they may not continue.
Okay, because here's my thought, B-Riz. Like for me personally, I would still watch all of the new pay-per-views, but if I know that they're going to cut stuff out of the old stuff, I would leave the app the minute the pay-per-view is done.
Right.
So, I mean, that's just how I would be.
But you'll still subscribe.
Yeah, I would still have it. But
so if they got your money, and they don't care if you watch or not, right?
Say what?
I said if they've got your money, they don't care if you watch or not, right?
But I'll throw you a counter. If they raise the price, I would cancel.
If they raise the price above $10?
Like if they would raise the price, let's say if they raise the price to where it's more expensive, then I would cancel because then I would feel I'm not getting my money's worth.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
Because if I can't watch like the old content in its entirety, then if they raise the price, then it's like I would be paying a higher price just to watch the pay-per-views, and that might actually turned me off for a while.
Right. It probably would.
Believe it or not, there was actually a lot of discussion. It was like, are they going to charge extra for pay-per-views? And I was like, no, but now that Peacock has it, they'll probably censor content. And they're like, you don't know what you're talking about. It'll be fine, blah, blah, blah. I was like, okay.
And now here we go.
Started reading articles, and then people coming up to me, oh, WWE's going to be censored. So, and then I've seen a lot of YouTube videos where people's like, Peacock bought out WWE. No, they didn't buy WWE out. They just bought the rights to stream it for the next 5 years.
Yeah.
So, and who knows, maybe in the next 5 years, WWE will really look at this and say, okay, we need to come out with our app again and maybe do something different. So.
Maybe so. I just hope they do something with that ECW stuff.
Yeah, because ECW was awesome.
Yeah, it sure was.
I mean, honestly, BRS, with them canceling stuff, could you see people going back to like DVDs and maybe even VHSs and trying to find the old stuff just to...
Well, I know that if they take all the ECW stuff off of the network, I'm definitely going to go break out my old school tape trader VHS trunk and convert all that over to digital, because I definitely want to have easy access to old school ECW.
Yeah. And we're not talking about the ECW when WWE bought it. We're talking about the old ECW when it was good and bloody. And
yeah, when it was good stuff. I would say the new ECW is the only one that'll make it through the sanitization.
Yeah, because Vince really watered it down.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's where it failed. I think if he would have had it under the WWE house, but kept it as different brands, and then had it maybe on a different channel.
Yeah, like HBO.
Yeah, that's another thing. I even heard a rumor that HBO Max was looking to try to get WWE Network, but that would have been awesome.
Yeah, HBO Max is great too. I've got that.
Oh yeah, because one martial arts film I'm looking forward to is new Mortal Kombat film in April.
Yeah, that's going to be awesome. I see the preview for that. It was great.
Yeah, and the 31st, Kong versus Godzilla. So, that looks like it's going to be good.
Yeah, it sure does.
But anyway, Brian, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up the show, brother. Do you have any, final thoughts, comments?
Tell people to listen to Franchise with Shane Douglas. Also, check out House of Kayfabe. It's another podcast that I'm involved with. And if you check those out, you will love them. Guaranteed.
Anything that you do is good because you were the reason I listened to daytime radio, and now that's a thing of the past. I can't even tell you, when I turned on, an actual radio station, I've got my Apple Music subscription, and I'm good to go.
Right. Yeah, it's hard to listen to just regular radio anymore.
Yeah, and maybe that's why I shouldn't have been hired at the radio station. Maybe that's why.
Yeah, because it was all going downhill.
Yeah. Well, it actually went downhill right after you left. It was me. It was me, man. When I left, I just totally destroyed terrestrial radio. See, here's the thing. Last year, I tried to call the radio station. They don't actually have a line now. It just goes through Google Voice or whatever it is now. They don't actually have a normal studio line now.
Yeah, well, they don't have actual DJs that are in actual studios doing actual things. They don't have that anymore.
Are you kidding me?
No, they just go in there and voice track. They record their show beforehand, then it plays, and they're doing other stuff while it's on.
That's sad. I'm sorry.
It is. It's sad. Shitty.
Then why in the hell couldn't they hire me then if that's all it is? I could do that shit from home.
You sure could. They should hire you.
You know, I tried one last time and he was like, just send me your resume, but it's not going to go anywhere. And I'm like, oh, fuck it.
But it's not going to go anywhere? You said that?
Yeah, it's not.
Who was it?
Huh?
Who said that?
Rick.
Really?
Yeah. But you know Rick had a stroke though, right? You know?
Yeah, I knew that. Yeah, I heard about that. I think he's good now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you hear his voice, you can tell he had a stroke, but he's lucky. He's very lucky.
Yeah, I'm glad that he's okay.
Me too. And I don't know if you knew this, Brian, but Mom actually went to school with Lola.
Really?
Yeah, so.
Interesting.
Yes, but
had no idea.
I tell you what, D-Rez, we need to get on Howard Stern, man. Like seriously.
Do we?
Yeah, I think that'd be fun. You know.
Sure. Would be fun. I haven't heard Howard Stern in years.
He's still doing XM radio.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
Him and Robin Quivers.
I haven't heard either one of them in forever.
Well, do you have satellite radio?
I do not.
That's probably why you haven't heard the name.
That's probably why. I'm like you. I listen to my Apple Music. That's about it.
Oh, I never got your thoughts on this person that's been in wrestling forever. What's your thoughts on Jim Cornette?
I love Jim. I listen to Jim Cornette's podcast religiously. Really, it's the only podcast I listen to religiously is Jim Cornette's. I used to listen to a lot of different podcasts, and now it just seems like Jim Cornette's got the most entertaining podcast. So I stick with the drive-through and experience. Yeah, I listen to the Cornette Experience and the drive-through every week.
I don't know what it is, but he hates Vince Russo with a passion, big time.
He sure does. I'll tell you a funny story. Whenever I was a kid, wrestling used to come to the Armory all the time. It was Smoky Mountain Wrestling. And one year, it was coming in December, and December happens to be my birthday month. So my mom got me these special tickets where we could actually eat dinner with the wrestlers. And I was so excited. Yeah, I was so excited. I was like, man, I want to meet Ricky Morton. If I could just meet Ricky Morton, that was the most – I was going to be the happiest guy in the world if I could just meet Ricky Morton. And instead, the way they set him at the table, they set wrestler, fan, wrestler, fan, wrestler, fan. So every fan got to sit beside of two wrestlers. And the two wrestling figures or wrestling people that I got to sit beside of was Bullet Bob Armstrong, who's a wrestling legend, and Jim Cornette. So I'm sitting beside Jim Cornette and Bullet Bob Armstrong as a 9-10-year-old little kid. Now, 10-year-old little B-Rez was so disappointed and hated the fact that he was sitting beside a Jim Cornette and hated the fact that he was sitting beside a Bob Armstrong and just wanted to sit beside a Ricky Morton. And where was he sitting? The whole other side of the table. I couldn't even hear him when he talked. So I didn't get to meet Ricky Morton there, and I had to sit beside a Jim Cornette, and I was so disappointed by it. And then, if you fast forward to 2021, I've met Ricky Morton probably 700 times, and I would die to sit and eat lunch with Jim Cornette. I would love to be sitting beside Jim Cornette. And now, it's completely backwards. It's just funny that how life works.
Wow. That's like, I never thought in a million years I would have met my favorite wrestler, Mick Foley, and you made it happen.
I did. He's a really nice guy.
He sure is. And during his comedy show, his chair almost collapsed, and I hollered at him, and I said, do you want to borrow my chair, Mick? And he's like, Justin, I think you need your chair more than I do. But, yeah, Mick Foley, and I'll never forget meeting X-Pac.
Right.
And even though she has some controversy, I wanted to meet China. I think that would have been cool.
Right, that would have been cool. I never got to meet her.
Do you think she'll individually be in the WWE Hall of Fame or no? I don't think she will be, but
I would say she will be.
Because I mean, because of the whole porn career and stuff. But hey, it is what it is.
Yeah, who knows? She may not, but at least she's in there.
And see, back in the day, WWE used to advertise when one of their divas would be in Playboy.
They sure did. It was a simpler time.
The best.
Yes.
Best. But so is your little boy? Does he enjoy wrestling?
He does. He's a wrestling fan. Yes, he is. He enjoys it a lot.
Oh, and I was going to tell you, because I've never spoken to her personally, but Vicky Guerrero actually liked one of my tweets one time. She saw one of my tweets. Just a random tweet of me, like, posting a picture of, like, my German Shepherd. Not even tagging Vicky in it. She liked my tweet.
That's cool. She must like German Shepherds.
Must be, and I tell you, it'd be awesome to meet Chavo Guerrero.
It would be cool. I'm a big Chavo fan. Wonder where he's at right now.
I have no clue, but I do know that I seen Vicky. She was on AEW the other night, so I guess she's over there now.
Yep, she sure is.
So, but
the manager for Nyla Rose.
Yep. And I'm going to tell you, B-Rose, one of my favorite gimmicks of all time, even though people would be offended by this, I loved the Eugene character.
Yeah, Eugene was fun.
Yeah. I actually loved the fact that he pretended to be mentally disabled.
He was good at it.
Yeah.
He was also an excellent wrestler. Nick Dinsmore is excellent.
And I tell people all the time when they ask me, do I have special needs? And I'm like, to me, that sounds like a porno flick. And if I'm not going to be a part of it, don't call me special needs. Just saying.
Right, if you can't be in the porn, then you don't want to be called that.
Yeah, exactly. But remember AJ Lee? I remember her.
Yeah.
The Bella Twins, do you think they deserve to be in the Hall of Fame, or do you think?
Not over some of the people that aren't in the Hall of Fame. I think that until you put Vader in the Hall of Fame, you shouldn't be putting anybody in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, Vader totally deserves to be in the Hall of Fame.
Vader deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. I mean, The Undertaker's not even in the Hall of Fame yet. I can't believe they're putting the great I can't believe that they're putting in the Great Khali.
Are you serious?
Yeah. Great Khali's going to the Hall of Fame.
I haven't heard that name in ages.
Yeah, he's going to the Hall of Fame, believe it or not.
And I think they should stop with these celebrities in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah. I don't think they should have ever done that.
No. And honestly, and even though people don't like him, Donald Trump is the very first president to ever be inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame.
That's true. He also paid for WrestleMania 4.
That's right. He did, didn't he?
He did. He paid for WrestleMania 4. I think he had a lot to do with WrestleMania 9 as well.
Wow. You know, it'd be a fun match. Like, if they could put their politics aside, like, to see a match between Barack Obama and Donald Trump in a WWE ring. I'd pay to see it.
I think Barack Obama would lay us a smackdown, give him a rock bottom, a Barack bottom.
Now, even though I'm a Trump supporter, I think that'd be funny as hell. But yeah, like I said, another thing too I want to mention here is, even though me and you politically we do not agree, but we still get along. So why can't others? Like, some people get downright nasty about.
They sure do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never really been into taking politics personal.
Yeah. It's like, why can't we all just get along?
That's what Rodney King said.
Well, that's what Jay Ray says now.
Well, good. I'm glad.
Oh, if you ever get a chance, you need to watch Young Rock. It is hilarious.
Oh, I've been watching it. I've definitely been keeping up with Young Rock.
That's
great
a wonderful show.
Yeah, it is.
So if you're going to write a book, what is it going to be about, theorist?
Well, I've actually been considering writing a book about poor people traps. Traps that are all around you all the time, that are there just to steal your money, to keep people poor. And I've been trying to educate people on these little things that do that to you. Like, for instance, I'll give you an example. Dollar General. Dollar Generals are everywhere. They're all over the place, and people use them to shop. Dollar General is not a discount store. You do not get discount items at Dollar General. It just says Dollar General. It makes you think of dollar store. So you go there buying things thinking you're getting them at a discount, when actually you're paying more for them than you would have paid for them if you just went to Walmart. So there's little things like that, if somebody does their grocery shopping at Dollar General, you just screwed yourself by paying double for crap food, and you're not even going to have enough of it. And that's a poor people trap. Like, for instance, gas stations. Gas stations are everywhere. Do they just sell gas? No, they don't just sell gas. They sell all kinds of things, and everything they sell in the store is double the price, if not triple the price, that you could buy it anywhere else. So if you go and buy your soda at the gas station, if you go get your gas and you pump 20 in gas and go in and buy soda, you just paid $2 for 20 ounces of soda, when a 2-liter would have cost you 99 cents at Walmart. That's a poor people trap.
Yeah.
Little things that you're like, oh, that's only $3. I can afford that. But if it's $1 across town, why would you buy it for $3? And if you do that every single day, then you're stacking up money that you're just throwing out for no reason. There's all kinds of those things throughout the world that people are paying top dollar for things when they really shouldn't. And it's all poor people traps. That's what I would like to write a book about, is exposing that and getting people financially in a better spot than they are right now.
Oh yeah. And see a lot of shady business goes on in the martial arts industry too, like money wise too. So.
Oh yeah.
Yep. That's why I decided to like step back for a while and concentrate on, like wrestling and other things too. So, but I've seen a lot of shady stuff go on.
well, guess what? I hate to tell you, but wrestling's full of shady shit too.
Oh, I know. Oh, believe me, I know. But who do you think's going to replace Vince McMahon?
Triple H.
Triple H.
I hope so, at least.
And that's why I hear Stephanie hates China and China hates Stephanie because see, China and Triple H used to date.
They did.
So,
I'm pretty sure he
funny,
cheated
like,
on. Did he cheat on China with Stephanie?
X-Pac, I discovered him and China actually had a sex tape.
Yeah, they did. Pretty gross sex tape too.
Yeah.
Not the best one. Not the best one I ever seen. That's for sure.
But wrestling will always be in our blood. And here's the thing. Did you ever see the story about the Von Erichs?
Yeah.
That was tragic, man.
Yeah, tragedy. The sad dark side of the ring, huh?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I watched that one the other night.
The WWE actually did a documentary on the Von Erichs, too. It was actually a documentary on world-class wrestling, but it was pretty much all about the Von Erichs and the tragedies that happened with them. And it's like, it should be, a good documentary about a wrestling company, but it ends up being like this super sad documentary. And that's exactly what we got out of the Dark Side of the Ring, Von Erichs as well.
Yeah. The hardest thing about you moving to Florida, I didn't know my bar was going to go with you.
Your what?
That my bar was going to go with you.
Oh, yeah. Can't do that without me, right?
Right.
When I rolled out, that was gone too.
I was like, damn it, because I used to close that bar down every time I would come there, and I still want to keep going. And you're like, it's getting ready to close.
Not there anymore.
Yeah, if I had known it was going to close, I would have stayed longer, but I didn't know that you had plans to move and all that stuff, and you don't know.
You never know when opportunity's going to strike. You just got to be willing to pick it up.
Oh, and something else cool, like, the last performer you had, Mitch, Mom used to babysit him when he was a kid.
Who was it?
Mitch, the one that did the last show that I was at, Mitch Stewart.
Oh, yeah.
My mom used to babysit him when he was a kid.
I remember that.
So, how did you end up getting Mitch booked? I mean, what was the thinking on that? I mean, he's a wonderful musician, but how in the world?
He contacted me. Mitch contacted me and said that he used to live in the area and he wanted to come back and he needed a place to perform, and we just hooked it up. No problem.
See, folks, that's what we need back in West Virginia. And the only reason I have not left is because I'm stuck here.
Right? Well, you're going to have to take my place. Start bringing people to the area.
It's harder than what people think. It's harder than what people think.
Well, I do know of a guy in Pipestem by the name of Anthony Ferratio, who is a part of Mountain Event Center in Pipestem, and they are doing Metal in the Mountains at the Pipestem Event Center coming up in June, and they have got Head PE, they've got Soulfly, they've got Attila.
Oh wow!
And the host of the show is big sexy Kevin Nash.
Are you serious? Because
That's serious.
there's times I've heard people say, "I got Kevin Nash booked," and then it falls through.
Well, with Kevin Nash, you never know. But if he's going to show up for somebody, it's definitely going to be Anthony Faracia.
Yeah, and he was also Super Shredder in Ninja Turtles 2.
He sure was.
And he was actually in a movie called Chick Fight here recently. It was hilarious.
Yeah. And he was also in Magic Mike.
Oh, yeah, that's right. He was in that, wasn't he?
Yeah.
So, B-Rez, are you going to be checking out Space Jam 2? Or?
Yeah, I sure will be. I mean, of course, I watched Space Jam 1, so I might as well watch 2, right?
Yeah, might as well. But they need to bring Michael Jordan back. That'd be cool.
Yeah, I just don't know how the team's going to win this year without Pepe Le Pew.
I don't either. I was actually headed in that direction. What is your feelings on that, B-Rez? Do you think that they should have left that alone? Or
I personally couldn't give less of a fuck than I do about it. I don't care about the Pepe Le Pew. Pepe Le Pew I don't give a shit about Pepe Le Pew. Yeah, Pepe Le Pew being out of work doesn't bother me. And if Pepe Le Pew was there, I still wouldn't care.
Because actually all the scenes were shot for his part.
Oh, really? He was already in the movie? And they took him
he
out
was
of the
already
movie?
in the movie, and then they cut it out. That's the point.
I thought they made the decision, like, just not to put him in. I didn't know he was put in, and then they cut him out.
No,
that was probably a real.
They cut him out. That's
I
why
bet that was a pain in the ass.
That's why everybody's making a fuss.
Yeah, for the guy who had to edit that shit, I bet it was a pain in the ass. Like, oh man, I got to take Pepe Le Pew out of this movie now.
But do you still not give a fuck now that you know that he was taken out?
Oh yeah, I still don't give a fuck. I still don't give a shit about Pepe Le Pew. No, still don't. I don't care about Mr. Potato Head or Dr. Seuss either.
Well, since people can change their gender, I want to say I'm officially now a Ninja Turtle, and I dare somebody to fucking fight me on it. Just saying.
Is Ninja Turtle a gender? I didn't even know Ninja Turtle was a gender option.
Well, I can make it that way.
Yeah, apparently you can. So are you Raphael, Donatello, Leonardo,
I'm
Michelangelo? Okay, I can see that.
Yeah. But
nice to meet you, Donatello.
Nice to meet you, B-Rez. Man, we've definitely come a long way, man, I tell you. But I tell you one thing that I would love to do, B-Rez, and people think I'm crazy. I want to go through a table that is set on fire.
Wow.
Because I like to entertain.
I feel like you could entertain without setting yourself on fire.
Well, I would still want to go through a table, though.
Well, I've went through a couple tables, and it's not the funnest thing in the world, but I've never went through one on fire, and there's a reason for that.
Well, you know me, I like to push the limits. It's like...
You do.
Yeah.
But who are you going to get to put you through a table, though?
I'd let you do it.
Yeah, then I'll get canceled.
You won't get canceled.
They'll be like, we can't support B-Rez anymore. He power bombs people through tables. It'd be bad.
I would do it, man. Seriously.
I bet Chris Miller would do it. You need to get Chris Miller to put you through a table.
He won't do it.
He won't put you through a table? I bet if you get a six-pack in him, he'd straight up put you through a table.
He actually still wouldn't do it because technically me and him's family, so he wouldn't do it.
Well, what the fuck? Technically me and your family. Why are you expecting me to do it if you won't expect Chris to do it?
I'm not saying that I'm not expecting him to do it. I'm just saying I know he wouldn't do it no matter how drunk he was.
Oh, okay. So you're saying that no matter how drunk Chris would do it, no matter how drunk Chris was, he wouldn't do it. But a stone cold sober C-Rez will put you right through a table and not even care. Huh?
I'm sure I've pissed you off about something.
I don't know, bro. I don't know. I don't think you've ever pissed me off enough for me to put you through a flaming table. That's pushing it a little.
Nah, it's all about entertainment. Because, like, I hate when somebody tells me, oh, you can't do that. I'll just go out and do it just to prove I'm wrong. Just to prove it. Yeah.
Do you still have the footage of your wrestling match against Anthony Burgess?
I actually do, actually.
Oh, well, why don't you send that to me when we get off of this show? Because I'd love to watch that.
I haven't watched that in years.
Well, send it to me. I want to watch it.
Now, I will say I wanted to put him for a damn table.
I never got to actually see the match.
Are you serious?
I never got to. No, you never showed it to me.
You know, he told me years ago, like when me and him were on good terms, that you were trying to put us in a hardcore match, but he backed out of it.
Well, that is definitely not true. Because I never talked to him about that. But
so he lied then, huh?
He must have, because I never talked to him about that for sure.
But
I would like to see the match. I would love to see the match.
You know, and I would love for franchise to see that match.
Well, tell you what, you send it to me and I'll send it to Shane Douglas.
Awesome. Just let him know it's not as athletic as he's used to seeing, but yeah.
I'm sure he'll understand.
Because we were literally beating the shit out of each other in there.
Well, I can't wait to see it.
And I almost actually had him in the crippler crossface.
Well, you should release that on. You should release it online for everybody to see, because I bet you there's a lot of people who are listening to this show right now that have never seen that.
Wow. Well, it's on YouTube.
Well, you need to send me the link. Send me the link. I want to see it.
I can't believe you've not seen that, D-Rose. I thought you saw it.
No, never seen it. Never once.
Now that one beef that you had with that one guy that I don't really care for, I'm trying to think of his name. Oh, God.
The what that I have?
You had a beef with the guy that I didn't like. Because he kind of screwed me over. I can't think of his name right offhand. Brian Logan, was that beef real or was that like a work? It was a work. Brian Logan and me have a long history. I don't know what happened between you and him. I'm not sure, but yeah, I've always known Brian, and yeah, Brian. You know, well, I'll tell you what. Me and Brian have had beef before, and it was real. But we are currently on good terms. Okay, because there was one time I wanted to come to Munchie's and like kick his ass. So what happened between you and him? Throw me out of the building. What happened between you and him? Well, he had me, you know, that special needs camp that I went to, years ago, and I would help out. Yeah. I actually agreed to do like the wrestling show and do like the color commentary for the wrestling show, and I thought I was going to get like a free copy of it, you know, seeing how I was on the video, done my thing, and it was supposed to help out the camp. Well, he was selling the video for his own personal gain, and then he wouldn't even give me a free copy of it. I had to buy it.
Oh. So that was the issue between you guys, huh?
Yep. I wanted to go Jake the Snake on his ass. So, because if that beef would have been real, because I would have joined forces with you just to kick his ass.
Right.
And I don't say that about a lot of people.
Right.
A lot of people. You know, I think it'd be interesting if I had a match with Jake the Snake Roberts. I don't think he would do it because he likes me too much.
Yeah, he does like you.
Yeah, he sure does. You know, I tried to call him the other day, and his number had changed.
You going to change his number on us, huh?
Yeah, I was going to try to get him on the show.
So are you really going to be done with the show, or are you going to keep going?
Well, I'm going to take a break, and then we'll see how it goes.
All right. Well, that sounds better than quitting.
Yeah, because, like I said, I'm tired of people taking advantage of me because, like, let's just say certain parties wanted to, like, upload my content and not pay me for it. And that's when I started having a problem.
Oh, who are those other parties?
People I used to work for that I will mention off air.
Okay.
And I believe the same person is involved in catfishing me as well.
So it's Carl from Wisconsin, that son of a bitch.
Yeah, son of a bitch. We need to take a road trip. So, Veros, do you know much about relationships?
I don't know, maybe. I don't know if I do or not. Go ahead, shoot. What's your question?
Okay. Why do girls, like, they complain about, you know, I'll just use this as an example. Oh, my husband or my boyfriend's bad to me, but then they'll go right back to them. Like, what's the issue? Do women like being treated like shit? What's the problem?
Well, I think a lot of that comes to do with comfort. That even though they're in a bad situation, they feel like it's better than trying to find a new situation. I think a lot of people are afraid to be alone. People are not happy with themselves. Therefore, they feel like they have to find that happiness in acceptance from other people. And when people try to find happiness with the acceptance of other people, they'll oftentimes are disappointed. You got to create happiness for yourself. You have to be in love with yourself before anybody can love you.
Okay, well, I love me. It's just like, okay, I'll give you an example, and I'm not going to mention any names, but long story short, I fell in love with a married woman years ago. I'm talking about maybe back in 2015. So we parted ways, okay, and then me and her actually found each other, and then, like, a month, it was like we never even, stopped talking or whatever. And then, like, she freaking flipped on me, like, right after that. And I think she just wants my attention now, where she wants it. And it's had me all tore up the ass.
Well, you can't fall in love with a married woman because she's taken. And even if you take her, then you always got to wonder, can someone else take her? So, getting involved with a married woman was your first mistake. in that situation.
Believe me, I know. And because I don't know if you've noticed like subtle changes with me with my posts and all this other stuff and the changes I've made. And it's because of how things have been. It's like, you know, do women want their guys to be an asshole, or do they really want a nice guy? You know? Like,
well, that's the age-old question, isn't it?
Say that again, I'm sorry?
I said that's the age-old question, isn't it?
Yeah, it sure is. It sure is. And I guess with you leaving town, that sucks too. And it's just, I'm totally different now. It's weird.
Well, with life comes evolution. You can change many, many times.
Yeah. But I mean, I would always help you out and stuff if needed. But I don't trust people now hardly.
Well, that's not necessarily a bad thing. You know,
yeah.
Stone Cold Steve Austin said DTA, don't trust anybody.
I've been saying that a lot lately. So, but yeah, that was my first mistake, falling in love with a married woman and not getting any of the good benefits out of it. So,
right.
And see what's weird. The minute I actually tried to move on and got with this Amber profile, then she wanted me real bad. But the minute I'm single again, it's like fuck you. So it's been a messy situation.
Sounds like it.
Yeah.
Sounds like you're living the days of our lives over there, Justin.
I have been, man, and, sucks.
Well, all I can say is watch more wrestling.
That's what I've been doing, and I can't tell you when I've actually watched a martial arts movie, and that's not my character either. So.
Right.
So everybody struggles, even me.
That's true. Everybody has their own struggle.
Yeah, and I think that's what people I think that's what's part of the problem with people that have this stigma that people with disabilities or in wheelchairs that we're just too into religion, and then we don't like to go out and party, and we don't like to go out and socialize, and we don't like sex or whatever. And I got to tell you, they're wrong about that. They are wrong.
Right. They're definitely wrong about you, huh?
Yeah, because when I used to hit the bar, I'm like, where's the beer at?
Yep.
I even had hot girls that would work there. They would actually open my beer for me.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah. You should have just built me a room there, Beerez.
Just moved in, huh?
Yeah. I would have paid rent. Beerez, tell us about this investing thing that you do, because you keep sending me something about investing. So maybe
I've just been investing I've been investing in the stock market lately. I've never done it before in my life, and just started investing in the stock market, and I've done really well for myself. I just think that the stock market comes into another one of those poor people traps. Is they put out the stigma that if you invest in the stock market, it's really risky and only rich people can do it. But if you invest in the stock market, you don't have to be rich, and it's not necessarily as risky as playing the lotto or betting on sports teams.
Exactly.
You can actually put some research in there and win big, and that's kind of what I've been doing.
That's awesome. That's really awesome.
Yeah, it works out really well. I've turned $600 and flipped it over about 8 times.
Wow. Next thing you know, you're going to be hanging out with the $1 Million Man.
Yeah, me and Ted DiBiase will be kicking it. You have to come with us.
I would love to meet Ted. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, me too.
Because I always heard he would have church like right after wrestling. He'd have church.
Yeah, he's a big church guy. That's for sure.
Yeah, so some people are and some people aren't, and I'm definitely not one of those people. Like,
yeah, me neither.
Yeah, and see that, and that's why I try to tell people not every person with a disability is a church person. Because I actually had somebody walk up to me on the street years ago when I lived in Charleston for a while, and they said, "You're religious, aren't you?" And I'm like, "No." "Well, you're in a wheelchair." And like, what's that got to do with anything? Well, on TV, they always say these disabled people go to church. And I was like, you watch too much TV.
Right.
So, it's just a mystery to me why people think that disabled people don't try to like live regular lives. So.
Yeah, I think it's people wonder about what they don't understand.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. But what is your final thoughts, D-Rez? And then I'll go ahead and end this call and end this recording. And this has been good. This has been raw. This has been emotional. This has been good.
Well, thank you very much. And my final thoughts are: go listen to House of Kayfabe and go listen to Franchise with Shane Douglas.
And that's the bottom line, because D-Rez says so.
There you go.
Hopefully I didn't just get copyrighted.
Yeah, they're going to sanitize you. Watch out.
But you take it easy, D-Rez, and we'll be talking to you again soon.
Well, thank you very much for having me on the show, Justin. Have a great day.
My pleasure, bro.